Although America is famed for its friendliness and kindness, the most dangerous areas in the country remain plagued by violence. Poverty, gang warfare, violent crimes, and a lack of security budget contributes to rising crime rates. The good thing is that the crime rate has significantly dropped over the last quarter century. The reduction in home invasions, including burglary and car theft, is particularly noticeable. Welcome to the Nowhere Diary, as we rank down the 10 most dangerous places in the US after dark. But before we dig down deep, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get updated whenever a new video is published. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. A person or individuals who engage in violent crime threaten, try, or actually inflict bodily damage on that other person or their property. Violent crime encompasses both crimes in which doing a violent act is the goal and crimes in which aggression is only a means to an end. Whether or not such a weapon has been used, the degree of the victim's wounds, and whether or not the offender has a criminal record all influence the gravity of the crime. Sexual assault, manslaughter, homicide, airline hijacking, terrorism, rape, shootings, and abduction are only some of the violent crimes that may be committed. Although it is at its lowest point in much more than 30 years, violent crime remains common. Violent crime is not fairly spread across the country, but it is more prevalent in metropolitan regions. Some cities, in particular, are more hazardous than others. Number 10. Buffalo, New York. Buffalo has never been able to absorb its adjacent municipalities like other cities in other states due to its location in New York. This implies that the town is trapped with the impoverished neighborhood in the area and cannot annex the affluent and much more stable suburbs. As a result, crime is on the rise. Crime level of Buffalo, New York is 1,238 crimes for 100,000 people. It is America's 10th most deadly city, and crime rates have decreased since the 1990s when they were at an all-time high. The police are having a tough time reducing the number of occurrences due to the city's 30% poverty rate. Gang patrols have aided in reducing homicides, which are now at their lowest level in 10 years. Number 9. Atlanta, Georgia. The deadly pandemic and the extensive lockdowns it prompted, and additional scrutiny of police departments after George Floyd's demise at the hands of the Minneapolis cops, corresponded with a countrywide spike in crime. Last year's fatal increase, according to notorious, an adjunct law professor at Georgia State University who specializes in criminal proceedings and police procedures, was caused by fear of the pandemic and indignation over police violence. Atlanta, Georgia is the 9th most violent city in America, with 1,379 crimes per 100,000 residents. The city serves as a major crossroads for both the drug business, fostering an environment conducive to narcotics-related crime. Most crimes are committed in the town's western areas, such as Grove Park, Center Hill, and Bankhead. Number 8. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio does have a crime level of 1,384 crimes per 100,000 residents, making it America's 8th most unsafe city. The number of homicides and robberies have risen. The number of rapes, non-fatal gunshots, and violent assaults also decreased significantly. A civilian's chances of being a victim of violent crime are 1 in 5. Number 7. Baltimore, Maryland. Even though its violent crime rate is far higher than the national average, this East Coast metropolis frequently appears on lists of America's 10 most dangerous cities. Gangs and narcotics are at the root of most of the violence that afflicts Baltimore's most impoverished areas. Baltimore, Maryland's biggest city, does indeed have a crime rate of 1,405 crimes per 100,000 residents, ranking it America's sixth most unsafe city. Although many neighborhoods are safe, several other sections of the town are plagued by violent offenses. Number 6. Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama's largest city, is ranked 6th among the top 10 most violent cities in the United States. The crime rate in the city is 1,518 people per 100,000. Poverty is rampant in places prone to criminal activity, as it is in other cities across the United States. The region's drug trafficking issue is also a significant contributor to the crime. Don't get us wrong, some parts of Birmingham are both safe and attractive. Birmingham, dubbed the Magic City for its excellent restaurants, nightlife, and music culture, is the most populous city in Alabama and one of the most extensive banking hubs in the United States. Number 5. Stockton, California. With a rate of 1,548 crimes per 100,000 inhabitants, Stockton, California is ranked 5th amongst America's top 10 most dangerous city. One of the most common violence in the town is aggravated assault. The number of sexual assaults and homicide cases have increased marginally. Several crimes such as property offenses and robbery are on the decline. Stockton is not really a safe place to visit at night. Stockton has a high crime rate, putting tourists at risk late at night. Whether you're traveling alone or in an area where criminal activity is prevalent, safety is essential. Number 4. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is the country's 4th most hazardous city. The crime rate is 1,750 persons per 100,000. For the past 10 years, this big city was among the most dangerous. Gang violence is on the decline. However, poverty and a high rate of lack of employment opportunities are two variables that lead to the increased crime levels. According to 2020's research issued by Clever Real Estate, the residents of Memphis, Tennessee were previously classified as perhaps the most dangerous area in the country. According to research, Memphis was judged to be the most dangerous city with 3 times more criminal activity than the typical metropolis. This research weighed the crime rate the most highly and polluted water supply the least heavily. Number 3. St. Louis, Missouri. Considering 1,777 crimes committed per 100,000 people, St. Louis, Missouri has among the highest crime rates in the country. Crime levels spiked in 1993 and also have gradually declined since then. In comparison to other states in the US, the murder rate is high. The majority of killings are committed by men. Many of the incidents are concentrated in a triangle region of St. Louis's north side. Most travelers must exercise the same circumspection as they would with any other metropolis or hometown. This involves avoiding conversation with strangers in dark alleyways. You should, without a doubt, keep updated about which areas should be disregarded owing to increased criminal activity and avoid those areas. Such districts in St. Louis are located north of Delmar Boulevard and are far less safe than the rest of the city. Number 2. Oakland, California. In Oakland, California, violent crime is 1,993 offenses per 100,000 people, currently the second most unsafe city in the United States. Throughout the 1960s, the city's crime rate began to rise. Despite its high ranking, mainly on the scale of America's worst violent cities, they have made tremendous progress in reducing crime. Gun-related crimes are typically conducted in impoverished areas. These crimes were caused by First, school cancellations forced many kids into the streets, where they've gotten into fights with other kids. Second, drug and alcohol addiction rose as people tried to cope with being stuck at home. And finally, the loss of income drove some people who already had little means to conduct robberies and thefts. Number 1. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan has the highest violent crime rate in the country, with 2,123 offenses per 100,000 people, ranking it the most dangerous city in the country. It's worth noting that crime levels in Detroit have already been declining in recent years. Since the 1970s, the city's crime levels have become the greatest among American cities. Drug-related offenses, aggravated assault, assault with a dangerous weapon, rape, armed robbery/murder, and non-negligent manslaughter are among the most prevalent crimes. As the pandemic spread across the country, murders increased by 33% in major American cities last year. Rallies protesting institutional racism and police violence drew thousands of people. Thousands of protesters have been taking to the streets every day for weeks to protest the government and the plight of African Americans in the United States. Hundreds of protesters were detained as tear gas was sprayed across the sky, rubber bullets were fired, and tear gas was scattered across the sky. The pandemic swept across Detroit, causing more deaths than any other cause aside from heart disease. And that is all for today's video. But first, how can we stop all these hate crimes and killings? Why can't these states be controlled by the authorities? How does the government take action to prevent all of these violent crimes? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before leaving, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get updated on our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.